There is an ancient secret hidden within the verses of Psalm 91 that most believers completely overlook when praying for their families. For centuries, spiritual warriors understood that this prayer is not merely a collection of comforting words, but a divine shield activated by specific conditions. As darkness settles over the world, discovering this hidden truth changes everything about how you protect your home. When Moses wrote these sacred words, he began with a powerful key that many miss. He spoke of dwelling in the secret place of the Most High. Notice he did not say visiting, but abiding continuously. When a family learns to abide under this holy shadow, unseen forces retreat. But what does it truly mean to abide in this sacred sanctuary daily? To be under the shadow of someone, you must stand incredibly close to them. The shadow of the Almighty is not a metaphor. It is a spiritual perimeter where no weapon formed against you can prosper. Yet many families live far outside this perimeter, wondering why fear grips their homes. To enter this shadow, a specific declaration must first be made aloud. Notice the psalmist says, "I will say of the Lord." Protection is spoken into existence through active faith, not silent hope. Your home becomes an impenetrable fortress when you verbally claim God as your refuge each morning. When trials arise, spoken faith establishes spiritual boundaries that darkness cannot cross, transforming your household into a place of absolute safety and calm. The psalm promises deliverance from the snare of the fowler and noisome pestilence. In ancient times, a fowler set hidden traps to capture unsuspecting birds. Today, those hidden traps take the form of subtle spiritual attacks, sudden anxiety, or unexpected conflict within your family. But God promises to dismantle these invisible traps before they ever spring shut upon your loved ones. Consider the tender imagery of verse 4, where God covers you with his feathers and shelters you beneath his wings. This imagery reveals the maternal warmth and fierce protection of the Creator. Just as an eagle fiercely guards its young from fierce storms, God envelops your family in divine warmth where no external terror can penetrate your sacred bond. Scripture declares that his truth shall be your shield and buckler. A shield protects the front from direct attacks, while a buckler protects all around during close combat. God's truth is not an abstract theory. It is a full-body defense system for your family's mind and spirit, neutralizing every lie, doubt, or fear that tries to infiltrate your heart. Verse 5 brings immense relief to troubled minds, proclaiming you shall not be afraid of the terror by night. Nighttime is often when worries multiply and anxiety whispers intrusive thoughts about the future. Yet under this divine promise, night becomes a season of deep rest and quiet peace, because God's angels stand watch while your household sleeps peacefully. The verse continues, warning of the arrow that flies by day. Daytime arrows are the sudden unexpected crises, harsh words, or financial shocks that strike out of nowhere during busy schedules. But when your home is covered by Psalm 91, those flying arrows lose their power and fall harmlessly to the ground before they can harm your soul. Neither shall you fear the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Invisible threats, sickness, and emotional decay may surround the world, but your household remains insulated by heavenly grace. This assurance frees your heart from constant worry, allowing joy to flourish within your family walls despite turbulent times. Verse 7 presents a staggering contrast. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Even when widespread chaos or breakdown occurs around society, those anchored in God remain standing firm. Your family's safety is governed by heaven's economy, not by global circumstances. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked, but you will not experience it. God positions his faithful people as protected observers, not victims of destructive cycles. When you realize that evil has no rightful claim over your home, you begin to walk with newfound spiritual authority and unshakable confidence every single day. In verses 9 and 10, Scripture reveals the central condition for this divine shield. Because you have made the Lord your habitation, no evil shall befall you, nor any plague come near your dwelling. Notice the key word habitation. When God is not just a Sunday visitor but your family's permanent residence, peace settles over your home. Verse 11 unlocks one of the most comforting secrets in all of Holy Scripture. God gives his angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. Angelic hosts are assigned specifically to escort, defend, and protect your loved ones throughout daily life. You are never walking alone, even in the darkest or most isolated moments. Verse 12 promises that angels will bear you up, preventing you from stumbling against a stone. Minor stumbles and sudden pitfalls that could ruin years of progress are redirected by divine intervention. When you walk in faith, unseen hands steady your footsteps, turning potential disasters into testimony of God's relentless love and guidance for your household. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. These beasts represent open aggression and subtle deception. Instead of living in fear of spiritual attacks, God empowers your family to walk over obstacles victorious. You are not meant to retreat from darkness, but to conquer it with authority. In verse 14, something extraordinary happens. The voice changes, and God himself speaks directly about you. He declares, because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. Loving God with devotion opens doors of supernatural protection. Deliverance is God's personal response to a heart that truly treasures him above all earthly things. God promises, I will set him on high because he has known my name. Knowing God's name means understanding his character, covenant, and supreme power. When you elevate his name in your household, he elevates your family above reach of destruction. You operate from a place of divine honor and security that worldly troubles cannot taint or shake. Verse 15 brings a divine guarantee. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. God does not promise a life entirely devoid of challenges, but he guarantees his immediate presence within them. When trouble arises, your prayers do not bounce off the ceiling. They trigger immediate heavenly action. The promise continues, I will deliver him and honor him. Notice that God promises not just escape, but restoration and honor. The trials that were intended to destroy your family will end up displaying God's glory through you. Out of every furnace of trial, your family emerges stronger, respected, and deeply rooted in unwavering peace. Verse 16 crowns the entire psalm with a glorious reward. With long life will I satisfy him. God desires to bless your household with longevity, wellness, and a full, satisfying life. This is not merely existing for many years, but living a life brimming with divine purpose, peace, and fruitfulness that spills over into future generations. The final blessing concludes, and show him my salvation. To see God's salvation means experiencing his active deliverance in every single area of your life, spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial. When you activate Psalm 91 daily, your family becomes a living witness to God's ultimate power, walking beneath an open heaven of divine favor and eternal grace. Now that you understand the hidden depth of Psalm 91, the key is putting it into daily practice. Speak these sacred verses aloud over your home, your spouse, and your children each morning before stepping into the world. Speak them not out of fear, but out of bold confidence, knowing that heaven responds to your declared faith. As you step forward today, carry this unshakable truth within your heart. You dwell in the secret place of the Most High. No matter what storms rage around the world, your home is sealed in divine protection. Remain steadfast in prayer, rest in his peace, and remember that the shadow of the Almighty is always your eternal fortress.